Hello, my name is Connor Quinlan, and in this review I'm going to be showing you guys how to use the Canon EOS Rebel T3i. And what I'm basically going to do is go over the entire camera, all the functions and buttons and menus, and talk about and overview basically what those functions do and when to use them if necessary. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this side of the camera, starting with the flash here. As you can see, when I press that, the flash opens up, and then I can take a picture with the flash. As you can see there. Then right here you got your depth of field button. You can't really hear it, but it makes a slight noise there. And basically what that button will do is when you're looking through the viewfinder here, if you have it set to, say, f-stop 4.0 like I have here, and this is an f-stop 1.4 lens, since this is a smaller aperture, what it'll do is basically when you press this button is it will show you what that smaller aperture, the depth of field it will create in the picture, because when you're looking through a viewfinder, what you're seeing is an f-stop of 1.4. When you press this button, you'll see what the picture looks like at f-stop 4. Okay, now we're going to move on to the back here and go into the menu. Start over here in the shooting menus. First you got your quality, which you can set with JPEG modes, different, basic, large, medium, and then you can also choose whether you want to shoot RAW and RAW plus JPEG as well. The beep is the noise that you hear when it's autofocused, like this. The perpetual illumination correction control is basically a chromal aberration correctional system. You can enable that or disable that. Red eye reduction, enable, disable. Flash control, this will tell you that in here you can just pretty much do everything that you want for your flash. I won't go through this entire thing here because I'm personally not that experienced in the area of flash. So we'll move along to the next one. EV compensation. What that is it's useful for AV mode, which is up here. That's aperture priority, which means you can control the aperture and then everything else is done by the camera. What that is that, well, when you adjust the EV, it adjusts the shutter speed. If you go down, it will adjust the shutter speed to be quicker and give you a darker image. If you go up, it'll adjust the shutter speed to be slower and therefore give you a brighter image. Auto Light Optimizer is kind of like active D-lighting for Nikon. It brings out the detail and highlights and dark shadows. Here's your metering, custom white balance. Basically all your important features are going to be in the shooting menu here. For your color space you always want to have Adobe RBG, not small RBG. That has a lot less colors than Adobe. Picture style is what you use if you're going to be shooting JPEG. You have a lot of choices, of course. For nature I just shoot landscape. Next one here you got your ISO that you can choose from. And then you got a few more functions here about live view, and then different aspect ratios that you can choose for the picture, and then you got a timer as well. These are your playback menu. Basically what these are is for showing ways in which your images will be played back, and then also for deleting images, changing brightness, the histogram, and stuff like that. And then these are your other settings for similar things, except for here in the customs functions settings here, you can change a lot of different things, a lot of very important things. Exposure level increments, that's how many stops that the EV changes by. ISO expansion, you got flash sinks, long exposure noise reduction for when you're taking pictures over a very long period of time, like a couple minutes. High ISO, speed noise reduction is useful if you're going to be using higher ISOs above ISO 800. It will get rid of some of that noise. And then you got some other things that you can do in here that have to do with the AF and whatnot. Not necessarily as important as the other things. And then finally you can make your own menu, sort your items, and make it easier for you to find the functions that you use most. The info button here obviously will take you to the information screen, show you your settings. You press it again, it will show you what all your settings are in the camera. And then if we go over here, one thing that I really like about this camera is even though it's a beginner model, it has a lot of controls on the outside, as you can see. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about here is on this side. This button right here is your movie record button. As you can see, I have it set to movie record up here. And then you press it again, and then you'll record a movie, as you can see it's doing right now. Press it again to stop the video. A new display button here that was not on the T3i, that'll bring up the menu, as you can see here, just like so. And then there's also an ISO button up here, which you simply, once you have the info screen up, you press and then you can adjust that. Here we've got a zoom out and zoom in button. Also what this is useful for is for picking your autofocus point, automatic selection or manual selection, and then you can also pick your focus point like that as well. And then up here we have your AV control. When you're in manual mode, like for say I am now, you have one dial up here. At first that dial will let you control shutter speed, and then you gotta press this in order to change the f-stop here, as you can see. This is the quiet mode. You press that, it will change your shutter to quiet shutter. And then you've got a bunch of things here. You can change your white balance by pressing up. Your AF here, and these are the different types of AF you can shoot. Right now it's set to beep when it focuses. You can hear there, but you can also set it to have the AF servo, which means that it'll continuously focus as well. And then here, this little thing right here is the picture style. Once again, like I said, very important for JPEG shooters in order to change your images into the camera. And then here you can change how you're going to shoot. You can change it to continuous shooting, or you can also put remote control or timed shootings. And that is pretty much all the features on the outside of this camera and how all the features work. And I hope that you learned a bit about the Canon Rebel T3i digital SLR camera.